We actually have an NHL trade to discuss this evening, not something we normally see this time of year, but the New York Rangers have made a fairly substantial acquisition, acquiring prospect defenseman Adam Fox from the Carolina Hurricanes. We'll talk about Fox and go over the details of this trade coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned a few hours ago, we had breaking news from the New York Rangers and Carolina Hurricanes organization that they've hooked up on a trade, sending prospect defenseman from Harvard University, Adam Fox from the Carolina Hurricanes, over to the New York Rangers. Now, Adam Fox was originally a third-round pick of the Calgary Flames back in 2016, but of course has been playing college hockey for the past 3 seasons. He was traded then last summer at the NHL Draft as part of that package deal that happened between the Flames and the Hurricanes, which obviously saw them swapping players, including Dougie Hamilton and Michael Furlan going over to the Hurricanes in return for Lindholm and Hanifin going over to the Calgary Flames. We had heard reports from Canes GM Don Waddell sounding fairly confident he was going to be able to get Adam Fox signed and under contract. I know that's a prospect that they were very high on. They were very happy to have in the organization. But ultimately, Adam Fox did not want to sign with the Hurricanes, so they decided to go down this trade route. The Rangers were the main team he was looking to sign with, and they're kind of lucky in a way they were able to get this trade done. If not, they could have lost him for nothing as a free agent if this would not have happened now, and he could have played one more year of college hockey and then become an unrestricted free agent and sign with New York anyway. Now, in return, they get a 2019 second-round selection, which will be the number 37 overall pick at this year's draft. They also have a conditional third-round selection from 2020 draft. The condition on that is there's a games played criteria. If Adam Fox plays 30 games next season for the New York Rangers, then that selection gets upgraded to a second-round selection in 2020. It is believed and reported by TSN reporter Bob McKenzie that the New York Rangers are working on the entry-level contract for Adam Fox, so he is expected and more than likely will be signing with the Rangers here very shortly and likely make the team into next year's training camp and next year's season for sure. He's a very solid prospect. He's had some outstanding performances with Harvard over the past 3 years. He was a Hobey Baker Finalist this year, which ultimately ended up going to Avalanche prospect Makar, who's now having some pretty solid games in the NHL playoffs. This past year, he put up 48 points in 33 games, was an absolutely tremendous defenseman for Harvard. He's the only college hockey defenseman in the past 20 years to have an average of over 1.5 points per game, so he's certainly an outstanding prospect. During his time at Harvard, he slowly worked his way up the prospect ranking systems for sure. I've heard some people compare him to a guy like Sergei Zubov. Rangers fans will be quite familiar with him, depending on your age, of course, but Zubov had a great career in New York. He's certainly a player that it gets a lot of comparison to. He's a very, very gifted, elite defenseman. He has an ability to possibly be a top 2 guy. You throw that in the fact that some of their other prospects, like Andre Miller, and suddenly that blue line's looking pretty solid here in a few years. They already had some pretty good prospects make some progress this year. They got a very high pick in the draft lottery this year. They're bound to get likely Capo Caco, which is going to be huge for them. They have other picks. They're loaded with picks. They have all these players coming, and now they add Adam Fox to the mix here as well. So certainly things are looking up for the New York Rangers to accelerate this rebuild. I really think they're going to be a very exciting team here in a couple of years' time. The New York Rangers organization has done a fantastic job accumulating a lot of draft picks in many of the deals that they've made since this rebuild began. So you combine that with the fact that they've got a lot of prospects already, they got all these picks. They can afford to make a trade to get Adam Fox into their organization now rather than take the chance of signing him as a free agent later on, although it has been believed that both parties were very interested and they likely would have got him anyway, but at least they can make it happen now instead of waiting an extra year. And in my opinion, there's no way they would make this trade if they didn't have the intentions on signing him to his entry-level contract and getting him into their lineup next year. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made sense. They could have just signed him as a free agent after he completed his senior year at Harvard University. So ultimately for the Carolina Hurricanes, this is a little bit disappointing. They didn't really want to trade him. They would have preferred to sign him, but at least they are getting a pretty good return here with a couple of second-round picks. I mean, one of them could be a third round, but more likely will be a second-rounder. So really, overall, I think the Hurricanes done pretty well here given the situation. I mean, Adam Fox is still just a prospect, even though he looks like a pretty darn good one. Only time will tell if he lives up to those expectations, and he could very well be a top-pair guy for the Rangers down the road. So of course, as always, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section on this trade. Under the circumstances, do you think the Carolina Hurricanes did relatively well in this deal? And if you're a Rangers fan, are you excited to get Adam Fox into your organization? I think he's a real blue chip prospect and will have a tremendous hockey career once he gets started in the NHL. If you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So if you're new, subscribe for more videos just like this one, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.